Hello, our friends, and welcome to Believe in the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Jeff Cavanaugh. I'm alongside my dear friend, former Cowboys wide receiver, sweet man, Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
And we're about to get into Cowboys free agency and all the different things, draft plans. What have they done? What do they got to do? Hey, welcome back, Jourdan Lewis. All the things, but we need to thank two people on our way there. First, our friends at our newest sponsor, Cut. K-U-T-T is the name of it, baby. I love action. Everything is made more fun with action. And on Cut, what you can do is you can get action on anything. You can make your own bet. I could just say, like, hey, I bet you in the race coming up that Bill Elliott beats Dale Jr. Those aren't real names anymore. I bet you that Larson finishes ahead of, just insert whatever, right? You can make up your own wagers, and you can do that with your friends, or you can just send it out into the ether with whatever odds you want and see who picks it up and wants some of that action. It's Cut, and it's awesome. So Cut, put your money where your mouth is. K-U-T-T. Your promo code to sign up there is Believe Cowboys, B-L-E-A-V Cowboys, and you'll get all hooked up. It's legal in 40 plus states, peer-to-peer social betting platform. And it's kick-ass. We're also brought to you by our friends at Bet Online, of course, where you use the promo code BLEAV Believe, and that'll give you a 50% sign-up bonus, and you can get in on all sorts of different action. We got basketball going crazy right now. Tournament coming up.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go Heels.
No, I put it on anybody but the heels. Everybody else, just not the heels. Anywho, here we are. How you doing today, Jesse?
I am good. I see. Okay, good. Celsius. What flavor you got? What are you a? We don't want to give them promotion. They don't pay us, but we just want to orange. That's about white.
Yeah, they don't pay us, but they do pay the station I work at. Okay. And so I just take full crates of it from work, and I get hooked up that way. So it's good. Yeah. So no, they don't pay us. But
watermelon. I'm a watermelon guy. That's about black. Yep. We're on brand. We're on brand. You're white. You drink the orange one. I'm black. I drink the watermelon one. We're on brand. This is who we are, right? There's no need to not be who we are. You know what I'm saying? Let's stay on brand. On brand.
I just get a little uncomfortable.
It's okay.
When you announce a flavor, and I just say, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Red is a flavor. You know what I'm saying? That's a flavor. I don't care what anyone says. When they ask you what flavor is that, red is a flavor.
Especially with Kool-Aid. So I hate watermelon, actual watermelon. Mm-hmm. I love watermelon flavored anything. Watermelon flavored gum is the best flavored gum. Watermelon Jolly Rancher is the best Jolly Rancher. Watermelon is disgusting. I don't know what to tell you.
That's okay. Okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you either. That's odd, but hey, it's America.
Cowboys are on the board, baby. You guys out there, you had doubts. You didn't think the Cowboys were all in. You didn't think they were going to go for it and sign everybody. Eric Kendricks, bang. Took him from the 49ers. Finally beat the 49ers at something. Bang. Eric Kendricks, come on down.
Let's go.
Jourdan Lewis is back. Random guy that snaps the ball to the punter and the holder is back.
That might be the most important signing so far.
CJ Goodwin is back. So we're going to be covering kickoffs. We're going to be snapping it to the punter. Jay Lewis still here. And we got a guy that actually plays linebacker to play linebacker. So we're actually on the board, Jesse. We're on the board, baby. How you feeling? We're on the board.
I like the Eric Kendricks signing. I really do. I think it's someone who is necessary, who is needed. Currently, let's take Micah Parsons and say he's not a linebacker. Let's take him out the equation and let's say he's playing defensive end or rush end or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, because he's not a linebacker, so that's a good thing to do, yeah.
Currently, right now, at 32 years old, Eric Kendricks is your best linebacker you have on your football team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally, at 32 years old, he is the head and shoulders best linebacker that you have on this football team. And that goes for Damone Clark. That goes for Leighton Vander Esch with the healthy neck. That goes for DeMar Overshown or anyone else that you have on this roster. Marquise Bell, his hybrid position. You finally got a linebacker. And I think with Mike Zim, and you see it. I mean, we're closely connected to what's happening in Washington with Dan Quinn and all the guys that he are bringing. That's not by coincidence. Coaches love to bring in players that were formerly in their systems in other places. It makes their job easier. It makes life easier. It gives them a voice in a locker room to properly explain things, the nuances of what they're looking for the overall picture. So having a guy like Kendricks come in with Zim having his opportunity, because there's a learning curve when you bring in a new coach and a new system and trying to couple that with the players that you have and some of the players that you're going to bring in. So all of this learning that has to go on in such a short amount of time. And again, I want to reiterate that you have to do it all in 6 months, because the other 6 months you actually have to play football. And so you don't have time to say, well, this is a process that I can have time to really implement throughout the years that I'll be here, because your contract isn't such, and neither is your head coach contract. So you got probably less than 6 months to come in, evaluate the current talent that you have. And there are some players and pieces of that talent that you currently have that are immovable pieces. They're going to be there. They're a staple there. Figure it out. Then you couple that with bringing in my guys, right? The guys that I want to actually coach and what I need and what I want. And then the guys that you bring in for the draft. So there's 3 levels of players that have to be brought in and taught. And so for Zim, and same thing for Freaky Mike, but for Zim, bringing in a guy like Eric Kendrick gives you a voice, gives you somebody who can help explain what you want done from a locker room level, not in the meeting room, but he can take guys, even Micah Parsons, even take Lawrence, take these guys under the wing or around the shoulder and say, hey, here's what coach was actually talking about. Here's what he means. Hey, let's go watch this and I can show you guys how we did it over here. And maybe that can help resonate somewhat a little bit more on what we're going to do overall schematically as a unit. So I think it's an important signing. And I think while the names that we want aren't being pulled in, this is one of the names that we needed to be pulled in, and we have it. So we'll go with that.
Yeah, and I think Kendricks is fine. I think the fit is right. I think the position group and how big of the need is right. And I think he's on his way to washed, but not washed. Now here's the problem. The problem is washed happens in a hurry.
Yeah.
It happens in a hurry. It hasn't happened to Eric Kendricks yet, but when we look back over the Cowboys' last 5, 10, however many years of free agency you want to do, all the dudes they signed for cheap that are aging, pretty much all of them don't work out. And so I'm uncomfortable the fact that both of us are somewhat optimistic about this one, but what are you going to do? I think it fits. I think he's still got a good year left, or at least a starting caliber year left, and you need linebackers. So Kendricks, good. Jourdan Lewis being back, good. Yep. Because if it wasn't Jourdan Lewis, you tell me who the third corner was when they line up for the first snap of the season. Eric Scott, Nashawn Wright, dudes that, like, Dan Quinn's gone. Their sponsors are gone. Mm-hmm. That's the dude who wanted you guys, and he ain't here no more. So, and you didn't show us anything. So they still need another corner, but what are you going to do? We'll figure that out later. Maybe Gilmore. I don't know. The challenge for the Cowboys offseason, and this is how they do it every year. We get real mad on day 1 and 2, and then we promise ourselves, oh, wait, I'll remember that this is just not what they do. And then you get to the next year and you watch the other teams do things, you get mad all over again, even though you promised yourself you weren't going to. But now they've had eyes on running backs, didn't get them. Zach Moss, A.J. Dillon, that one's probably good that it didn't work out. I don't know who your eyes are on now, unless you're just going to say, look, what we got is fine and we're going to draft a guy. The last name on the market that I even find somewhat interesting, and he's been a big old disappointment, is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's about what's left at running back. They still got D tackle, running back, left tackle, center, obviously. I say wide receiver. Like, I think they still have 5 free agents to sign, at least, to not go draft Horny. You did 2 of them, but you got to do 5 more. And you need those 5 to be able to play. And the odds say, based on their history, The dudes they signed won't be able to play. So, like, we're still in a spot where the odds of being better than you were a year ago are very low. Your team is not going to be better than it was a year ago at the moment because you don't have a center, you don't have a left tackle. Your defensive tackle group is bad and an empty room. Your third wide receiver is not good enough. You don't have a starting running back. We're still missing a whole lot of things that they're going to try to nickel and dime together. And so I'm still uncomfortable, but at least we're on the path.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate part to being a head coach to this all, right? To bring in the Mike McCarthy point of view to it is you make the job of now first the scouts to be perfect. If it's not Clyde Edwards-Helaire, maybe it's a guy like J.K. Dobbins who has to come in and do it on a prove-it year. I don't know who Kareem Hunt's still out there, I believe. I mean, there's
Foreman. Is he still out there? Like, it's not good.
No, it's not good at all. And so what you now require is you require guys to either be completely washed or draft picks. And that's a dangerous proposition that you want to be faced with. And all the while, and that's I decided to go with all the while because I think I exhausted at the end of the day on Monday. So
okay, look at you.
Yeah.
Spotting things. And
all the while, everyone around you is getting better too. So, like, that's going to be another thing. I'm not saying that the Washington Commanders are going to be world beaters next year. They'll be better, right? Like, I'm not saying that Philadelphia is going to be world beaters next year, but they're doing the things that they possibly can to get better, whatever you want to call that. And the Giants, whatever. But there's still other teams in the division that we still have to worry about. The Lions are here, right? We've been on the train of here come the Lions, here come the Lions. The Lions are here.
I want to fight the Lions. They got the guy I wanted for the Cowboys.
The Lions are here. They got
DJ Reader. That's right. Who I wanted.
What did Patrick Mahomes when he was telling Matt Cross, I'm here. The Lions are here. They're here.
Pat Mahomes got Hollywood Brown. That's going to be insane. The Chiefs are going to be allowed to throw the ball more than 5 yards again.
Will he catch it though?
Where did that come from? His drop rate was 3%. That's a good drop rate. He was fine. Where's this guy? There's some Boomer Sooner hating going on about Hollywood Brown pretending he can't catch.
Hollywood Brown dropped a lot of passes. Not like in his overall Ravens career, like he made some splash plays, but boy, did he have some for sure drops. But
anyway, a lot of hating going on.
I love the receiver. I'm just saying. I mean, 15 is 15, so they'll be okay nonetheless.
He's gonna have 50 catches for 1,200 yards and 30 touchdowns.
All right, that's a bit of exaggeration. But where was I going?
I don't know because I cut you off because it's what I do. The Lions are here. The other teams are getting.
Oh yeah, the Lions are here. Green Bay's, approaching that level of being here as well. So there's going to be a ton of opponents around you. The Niners are here. They'll be back. They'll be returning just about the same team last year, give or take a few players that normally happen in the roster. 33% of the roster turned over for most NFL teams. For the Cowboys, and even when you have everything going in the right direction, you still need, and this is me knocking on wood, you still need a perfect season to not be injured, right? Not for your main stars to be injured. And for everything else to go right as well. So the Cowboys are getting going, and this is on brand for the Cowboys. The Cowboys have not been in recent history people who jump into free agency on the first and second day in the A and B tier of free agents. But to their credit, and I have to give the Joneses and Will McClay and company credit, they put together a good damn roster. They find a way to put a damn good roster out there, at least on paper. I mean, it's hard to win in this league, and they've done it 12 times in the last 3 years without going all in on free agency. So, and I know people are going to say, well, when it mattered the most, they didn't come up victorious. And I get it. I understand it. It's been that way for 30 years. But your goal is to put together a roster that can compete on Sundays for 16 to 17 weeks. And then it's to win the division. And then from there, you try to hope to make your move in the playoffs. And for the Cowboys, they've done a damn good job putting together a roster in the regular season. They've done a decent job in winning some NFC championships that put you in a position to go into the playoffs. Now, my personal opinion is that when you get to the playoffs, it has to do a lot with the star players. Like playoffs are star player driven. Like that's not like, oh, hey, CJ Goodwin. We're glad to have CJ Goodwin. And the fifth linebacker, we're glad to have. No. Playoffs mean, hey, to Dak and CD and Micah and Jourdan Lewis. You guys have to come in here. Eric Kendricks, you guys will have to come in and to overdo whatever is holes that we have to make sure that we get there. And the Cowboys, for whatever reason, those guys haven't played big enough in the moments that matter the most. But for the roster purposes, they do a damn good job of building a roster. Got to give them that.
Yeah, but they're in a tough spot now because we'll have to see which moves are they going to make and when to get money to do all of the things, because currently the things that they've done are like, it's fine. I don't disagree with a single move that they've made. Great. I like the guys that you have added, but the number of holes we had where, like you mentioned, the draft, if you think that you're going to pull multiple rookie starters out of a draft, you're wrong. Your history tells me that you're wrong. Last year you pulled 0. Most years you pull 1, sometimes 2. But if they were
the Lions and pull 4,
you can do it. Don't get me wrong. You can have a bonkers year. Now they did have that was a top 12. They had like 4 picks in the top 40.
Yeah.
It is doable, but you also have the pessimism that comes with last year. You had 7 or 8 picks or whatever, and so they're in a tight spot because they're in a tight money spot coming off of a year where you had the worst draft in the entire NFL. And so you got to get stuff right. And yeah, I just keep coming back to,
you just made a point I don't think people talk enough about. Like, I don't think that in the grand scheme of everything, and I get it, with overshown injury, you can't predict injury, but I don't think that's been talked about enough. I don't think that's been really drilled enough, that because you look for this year to help out next year, right? Like, you look for draft picks of the year before to be in a position or to come along at such a pace that it's not a need when you get to the next year's draft. And for you to say, not you to say, but for you to mention just right there that the Cowboys got nothing from their draft class last year, that puts you in even a bigger hole, right? Because there is nothing that you can look at in a positive manner to say, oh, this guy is ready to take the next step. You're still kind of like a year later, you're still like, is this going to be a good draft pick? And it's very hard to predict what they're going to be now as you're getting ready to draft a bunch of young men who you're going to have to predict are they going to be good, right? So you got a bunch of now young men who you're about to predict, guys from a year ago and guys that you'll draft in a month or so, that and how will they be able to significantly help our football team in 5 months? And I think that's a point that people have not really looked into, because those draft picks from a year ago, that helps you not have to go into this coming draft super horny and blue chewed up.
Yeah. We love blue chew, by the way. Yeah. So like, because ideally you're drawing up, how is the team that's going to play football this year better than the team that played last year? And today there's no way to draw that up. Even as the biggest diehard optimistic Cowboy fan, there's no way to draw up that we're going to have a better team than last year, unless the answer to that is Mozzie's going to be really good, which hadn't happened. But you'd say, okay, Mozzie's going to be really good. Scooney, we're going to be able to run a 2 tight end offense, and he's going to be a really nice player. Overshown, healthy, is going to make an impact. Then in this draft, we're going to get a rookie starter at left tackle or center that's going to be really good. We're going to have a rookie running back that adds juice to the running game. Like, you have to think that last year's is coming and this year's we're going to nail it. And then free agency, we survived or did enough. It's hard to draw it better. And that's tough because for most people, I think the beginning of free agency has skewed where your brain is, right? The beginning of free agency, it's like, we suck. We need to get some of our guys back. We need to, then you get later into it. And my top priority right now, if I'm the Cowboys, still Tyron Smith. You watch it, Jesse. Still Tyron Smith. I got no left tackle. Like, there's so many things. And so then I'm like, okay, so if I got to keep building it out, then what do I want to do? Like, I'm not going to be better than Biotish at center, probably with a rookie. God, I could really use Biotish back. And in my brain, what I'm building back to is the exact same team that wasn't good enough. But they're not going to be as good as the team that wasn't good enough. And that worries me. So they've got to crush the draft. They got to get free agency right. They're bottom of the barrel dudes for the first time in the last decade. Got to be able to play. Odds of that, pretty low.
Let me ask you this. Can you see from the players, because I agree with what you're talking about. I agree with the level of percentage of like these hope. We call them hope points. Like we hope that Mozzie turns the corner and is double time better than he was a year ago. And Luke Schoonmaker and Overshawn, that the injury doesn't prevent him from taking where we thought he was going to be able to go. Remember the guy? I got a sneaky suspicion. The young tight end they had last year, Stretch. What was his name? I forget the kid's name.
Which one? Not Hendershot?
No.
Oh, John. It was John Steven, right?
It was John Steven. Yeah. I like that kid.
See, and that's a team that has a lot of needs. That Jesse's just pulling a random name from last preseason, like he can save us.
I'm not saying that he can save us. I'm saying that if we're looking for places for little sparks of juice, I like that kid. I thought he had some spark last year in training camp with his ability down the middle of the field, but that's neither here nor there. My question is could those guys, is there, and the answer is probably no, but for Dak, right? Is there, in year 9, is there another level he can ascend to?
Oh, he can't play better than he played last year. He was an all-pro.
Then for CD, can CD, is there still a ceiling for CD? Or is that?
I think he's there.
Is CD where he's at right now, where it's just like it's like, all right, I've reached my peak, and then now it's maintaining, and then and then my question is, where's Micah? Is Micah reached his ceiling? It's like, is 13, 14 sacks where he's going to be every single year for the rest of his career? Because if he is, that's a Hall of Fame career. If Micah does another 8 years and he's at 13, 14 sacks a year, at the end, I don't want to say that, but he'll find himself in the Hall of Fame, right? Like that, those numbers for the next 10 years, you'll have 130, 40, 50 sacks in the next 10, at the end of your career. But I'm saying, can those guys, if you're talking about that this team, with all that has to be done with the draft and the bargain barrel of free agents that you'll have to sign, and that they either will be equal to or slightly less than the team was last year, you're either going to have everybody as far as teams around you drop off, or for guys that are known commodities, take another step to get you over the hump. Can you see those guys can the guys that we are counting on take it up another notch, or it is what it is?
Probably not. But the one place where I think you have hope is, I could say that I'll take Dak from last year for 17 games. Sign me up. I'll take that all day. Give me CD that we had for 17 games all day. Micah still kind of maybe fading down the stretch a little bit, but I'll take it all day, because all you really got to do, and no one wants to hear it because they haven't done it yet, put me back on that Saturday or Sunday, play better that day. That's it. Like, the players don't have to be better. Dak doesn't have to be a better football player. He was incredible. CD doesn't have to take a step in some particular part of his game. He was incredible. Micah too. They stunk on whatever day of the week that was. Was that a Saturday? That was a Sunday, right? Against Green Bay. That's all I need. I need to be right back there. I need the coach to not come in and call the game like he's playing scared. I need the quarterback to see what's happening.
Because my next question is, like, Green Bay was such a shock to all of us because maybe we had our eyes on the next game, right? We had our eyes on the next game. That was going to be the Niners, right? That was where our eyes were focused to. Did they have enough to beat the Niners? Because we all thought Green Bay, we all thought, like, there was not a thought process that we weren't going to beat Green Bay. Our sole focus was, do they have enough to go and beat Big Bro? Do they have enough to go? Does David have enough? Does he have enough stones and a slingshot? And they witnessed that he wasn't circumcised. Do they have enough to go beat Goliath? Like that.
And they probably didn't. And you know what? Maybe that is the case for.
They're not back in the same spot we're here today. Like if they didn't have enough to beat the Niners, and the Niners are now kind of the standard of the East, not the East, but of the NFC, then that puts us right back where we're at today. Like I get Green Bay, that was a folly that we did not want to be a part of, but if we're not still getting better to still have to go and beat the Niners, then losing to Green Bay means nothing.
Well, I mean, here's the unfortunate truth, and this should really be a whole video that's just going to get tucked in 26 and a half minutes into this. Like, if you want to be totally honest, sports are going to hurt you. If you love the Cowboys and when they lose, it ruins your day, week, whatever, it's going to be ruined almost all the time. And the question is, what gives you the best chance to win the Super Bowl? And there's a case to be made that the best chance is to blow up effing everything. There's a chance. I think you probably have a better chance when you have a good quarterback, even if he costs a ton of money. But I was just thinking about this the other day. You could tell me how far back you want to go with the Super Bowl, and I tell you who played in it and who won it. The teams that play in it are overwhelmingly the best quarterback on the planet and or rookie deal quarterback who's good and or Kyle Shanahan. That's who's in the Super Bowl. It's Matt Ryan with Kyle Shanahan. It's Kyle Shanahan with whoever plays for San Francisco. It's Tom Brady. It's Pat Mahomes. It's young, cheap quarterbacks. But then you have to be the one team with the young, cheap quarterback that's the best in football. So, like, the odds of making it without currently Pat Mahomes or a cheap quarterback, just from the odds, it's bad. And if you want to chase that track down, it might be the wisest path. I don't have the nuts to do it because I don't want to have a bad quarterback and I don't want to suck for 10 years. But whichever team has the best team with a capable young quarterback, one of them makes the Super Bowl a good number of years. And then they get to meet Pat Mahomes or Tom Brady. That's who plays in the Super Bowl. Jared Goff, rookie deal. Let's see. This is Brady and Mahomes. Burrow on a rookie deal. The Eagles was still rookie deal for Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
There's Brock Purdy. There's a Kyle Shanahan there. There is Peyton Manning. There is Tom Brady versus rookie deal Russell Wilson. They're like that's what it is. And I don't want to blow it up because I would rather take the chances that I'm going to be a team that gets lucky when I get there and plays well enough when I get there, and having a good quarterback gives me a chance. But there is a great case to be made that you're dead in the water without Mahomes or getting really lucky, building a good team while you have a cheap quarterback and that quarterback's good. It's hard to get to a Super Bowl, and you're probably not going to.
So this is Jeff telling all Cowboy fans, it's not happening for you.
Probably not. You got to get lucky.
It's not happening for you.
You got to get there and get lucky.
Any feels that you have on the Cowboys not even calling Derrick Henry?
No, I didn't want Derrick Henry, I don't think. And I wouldn't surprised. So I did a video about Derrick Henry, and now that it's over, I can give part of where it came from. like Derrick Henry mentioned when he was like, they didn't call. Like, I live there. I thought that maybe, so there are people in Tennessee where he was leaving that knew he was leaving, thought that he was going to go to Dallas because he wanted to go to Dallas. So that I had information from their end that that's where they thought he would end up because that's where he wanted to go. But it takes Dallas actually making a phone call. And they said outright on the first day of free agency, no one's called. Dallas said that. MFer, you want them. They only talk to running backs who called them.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jerry's on spring break in the Bahamas, and Steven was at South by Southwest, and then doing a PBR event at AT&T with Kid Rock. So it's like it's tough. It's tough. Leave in the comments your favorite fruit and a timestamp if you made it this far. How about that? Because we went kind of long today. This is supposed to fit in a TV window, I think, and it's not going to. But remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through, so be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.